Welcome to our Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most unbelievable implosions in modern financial history, the collapse of the crypto exchange FTX and its founder, Sam Bankman-Fried. And believe me, this story, it all kicks off with one absolutely staggering number, almost $9 billion. That's how much customer money just vanished from FTX's books. So you have to ask, how on earth does a crypto empire, one that was being hailed as the future of finance, simply lose it? Well, the answer is a wild story of deception, recklessness, and a collapse that happened in the blink of an eye. Okay, let's set the scene. It's November 2022. FTX is an absolute titan in the crypto world. I mean, its founder is on the cover of magazines, its name is plastered on sports arenas, but just below the surface, the whole thing was about to unravel with a speed that is just shocking. I mean, the speed of this collapse was just breathtaking. Look at this timeline. November 2nd, a single report from CoinDesk starts asking some tough questions about the finances of SBF's other company, Alameda Research. 6 days later, a lifeline pops up. Their biggest rival, Binance, says they'll buy them out. Whew, crisis averted, right? Nope. That hope lasts for exactly 1 day before Binance pulls out, saying, whoa, there are major problems with FTX's books. Just 2 days after that, it's all over. FTX files for bankruptcy. And just to add the ultimate insult to injury, they get hacked for nearly $500 million on the very same day. 9 days. From a news article to complete and utter ruin. And make no mistake, this didn't happen in a bubble. The fallout was immediate. It was huge. It created this crypto contagion that just vaporized $152 billion in value from the major cryptocurrencies in just 3 days. Bitcoin by itself, it dropped 16%. This wasn't just one company's bad week. It was an earthquake that sent tremors through the entire market. So how did this even happen? Well, as investigators and prosecutors started peeling back the layers, they found that FTX wasn't just a company that was poorly managed. No, it was something much worse. It was, at its very core, a house of cards built on deliberate fraud. And right at the heart of this fraud was Alameda Research, SBF's personal trading firm. Turns out, it was operating with a set of secret special privileges. You know, while regular folks like you and me had rules, Alameda had, and I quote, an essentially unlimited line of credit. It didn't have to put up collateral, and, this is the key, it was exempt from the automatic safety nets that protect an exchange if a trade goes bad. All of this was made possible by a secret backdoor in the code that basically turned billions of dollars of customer money into Alameda's own personal piggy bank. And how do we know all this? The case against Sam Bankman-Fried was built on testimony from his own inner circle. Leading the charge was Caroline Ellison, the CEO of Alameda. Her testimony was just devastating. She stated, plain as day, that SBF directed me to commit these crimes, which included faking balance sheets to trick lenders. And it wasn't just her. The guy who actually built the system, FTX co-founder and CTO Gary Wang, he testified too. He admitted he wrote the secret code that gave Alameda its superpowers, and he confessed on the stand, we had lied about this to the public. And then the picture was completed by Nishad Singh, FTX's director of engineering. He also confirmed he wrote code because FTX told him to. But he also revealed that when he tried to sound the alarm about the firm's insane spending, Bankman-Fried was just dismissive or hostile. The story from his closest allies was airtight. SBF ordered the fraud, he had them build the tools for it, and he shut down anyone who dared to question him. Now, a scandal this big wasn't just going to stay financial. It triggered a global regulatory firestorm. Lawmakers and regulators all over the world pointed to FTX and said, see, this is exactly why this industry needs serious oversight. And what happened next revealed this really fascinating split in how to handle it. The European Union, they moved fast and decisively. They rolled out a huge, comprehensive rulebook called MiCA, creating one clear set of rules for everybody. The United States, on the other hand, well, the response was a lot more scattered. You had different agencies doing their own thing, and while a big crypto bill, the FIT 21 Act, did pass the House, It's pretty much stalled since then, leaving this kind of patchwork of rules instead of a single clear path. And here's the really ironic twist. The collapse of FTX actually made its biggest rival, Binance, way more powerful. With FTX gone, Binance saw a 30% jump in trading. So the failure of one huge centralized company just ended up concentrating even more power into another one. It raised all these new alarms about the very problem, centralization, that crypto was supposed to solve in the first place. Okay, this brings us to the most counterintuitive, frankly bizarre part of this whole story. After the industry's biggest, most public, most embarrassing fraud was laid bare for the world to see, you'd think every investor would run for the hills. But that's not what happened at all. So with all that chaos, all that fraud, the crypto industry had to be finished, right? I mean, this seemed like the final nail in the coffin. Wrong. So wrong. In the year right after the FTX disaster, over $36 billion of new money poured into crypto. And get this, it went into spot Bitcoin ETFs, regulated products bought by the biggest names in traditional finance. This wasn't just retail hype. This was Wall Street looking at the wreckage and deciding, okay, the coast is clear. Now's our time to get in. And the growth was just explosive. The number of big institutional firms holding these Bitcoin ETFs skyrocketed from just 61 to over 3,300 in less than a year. It's an incredible paradox, right? The industry's greatest humiliation somehow became the catalyst for the very wave of institutional adoption it had been chasing for years. But this new flood of investment, it didn't come for free. The FTX collapse forced the entire crypto world to mature, to clean up its act, and to finally adopt a new set of rules to make sure another catastrophe like this could never happen again. One of the absolute biggest changes is this shift to what's called a custody-first approach. So what that means, in simple terms, is that the platform where you trade your crypto is no longer the same company that holds your assets. Instead, your money is kept safe with a separate, trusted custodian. This is just standard practice in traditional finance, and it's designed specifically to stop an exchange from ever being able to dip into customer money like FTX did. And all of this adds up to a new industry standard, a new playbook that demands the kind of basic guardrails that were just shockingly missing at FTX. Things like keeping customer money totally separate from company money, bringing in outside auditors regularly, having a real board of directors providing oversight, and building strong internal controls. The era of running a multi-billion-dollar exchange on an informal group chat, well, that era is officially over. The FTX collapse was a brutal, incredibly painful lesson that forced the crypto industry to grow up, and fast. But it does leave us with a really deep question. As crypto starts to adopt the rules and the structures of traditional finance to make itself safer, has it just traded one kind of risk, like a rogue founder with a secret backdoor, for the more familiar systemic risks of the very system it was created to replace? That's the billion-dollar question that's shaping the entire future of finance. Thanks for joining us.